Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness, brought to you by DraftKings and their app Pick Six. Sign up with code Madness6 for up to $50 in free credits. This is LZ. I am here with Nick. Today, we're going to be covering the Wemby injury and what it means to the hobby. We got a ton of people around the hobby that have invested a ton of money into Wemby.
Tops Mercury. Sorry. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
And we're even seeing sales after he's been injured of just like these mega sold prices. We're going to get into all that. We're going to introduce a few other quick segments as too. We're going to do some random facts. We got our question of the day. We're going to be covering some health technology.
Kind of a special episode, right? It's like,
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I wouldn't say emergency episode, but this is like a must watch and must listen. Especially, we get a lot of new listeners every week. If you've never listened to us, please listen to this one because it's a very cautionary tale.
It really is, Nick. So why is it? Let's just get right into it.
All right.
What happened?
Gosh, where do we begin with this?
Let's start with what happened.
All right. So
what happened to Victor Wembanyama?
Actually, I have some firsthand knowledge of this because I've had the same thing happen to me. So Wemby, kind of surprisingly, I think, I forget who, maybe Shams broke the news. He has a DVT in the shoulder, and a DVT is a pretty scary blood clot that's in a big artery that can go to the heart, and if it hits that or it goes into the lungs, it could affect your breathing, and it's scary. They treat it with blood thinners, and then intensive blood thinners, and then eventually you treat it with longer term ones like Eliquis or some of the baby aspirin was the old school way to do it. I had the same thing happen to me. I had I had a lot of autoimmune craziness, and I had a PICC line. My body attacked the line, put a DVT in the arm. We switched the lines to the other arm, had another DVT, and it was scary. I was under watch for like 48 hours at the hospital just to make sure it didn't break free. They'd ultrasound it and stuff. So it's pretty gnarly. Now, knock on wood, I'm fine. I haven't had any issues since whatsoever. And that was like 2 years ago. And he's young, so hopefully he doesn't. But he's out for the season, right? And that's kind of a hammer being dropped on him, right?
He is out for the season. And let's bring it back to even a completely different sport. Christian Barmore for the New England Patriots had this same thing. He had blood clots during summer camp, and he didn't play this whole season. So here we had this promising rookie, promising D lineman for the Patriots who got blood clots. He was out like the whole season. He tried to come back.
Scary.
I think it was for like the playoffs. Oh, we didn't even make the playoffs. Who am I kidding? I'm thinking we went to the playoffs, Nick.
Playoffs?
We did not.
Let's not go there.
Oh man, I'm just daydreaming.
No, we're not doing that.
Next season will be like, but no, I want to say maybe it was like week 15. He tried coming back, and he went to practice. He went to the game, and then he had issues again, so they had to shut him down, Nick.
Yeah, no, he's about to go through. I know I was synced up with hematology. Basically, he's going to go through your basic panel, make sure there's no normal blood disorders. He probably knows the results of that now. Doesn't have to share that with the public, but they know. And then there is another step, which is a genetic panel, and that is going to take a little bit of time. Even if you're Wemby, goes to a lab. If you have
all the money, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just lab capacity, right? And you have to analyze the genetic material in the blood. It takes time. That will tell you if he has a genetic disorder that could be prone to clotting. Then you have tough decisions because you can actually have issues just on long flights, like a flight cross country. You may see him taking a bus and taking breaks instead of a flight. It's pretty fascinating stuff. I mean, I hope he's so young, man. I'm just hoping for the best on this, and I do hope it's a blip, but it's a blip that matters for the sports card world. And there's a lot of lessons here, and that's what I want to get into next a little bit,
Yeah, let's get in. I just, and we'll get into it as we talk, but I get so worried about big men. Time and time again, you just see big guys just breaking down. Their body's bigger. Their organs can't. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they're always breaking down. I mean, this is different. This isn't like knees or anything like that. This is blood clots. But I worry.
Very few have pulled it off. Kareem pulled it off pretty much. He started failing in the late '80s, but by that point, He had 25
Yeah.
years in, right?
Yeah.
So big men are tough anyway. They're also not fantastic investments. Like, unless you have the personality of Shaq or your Kareem when you're like, top three all time.
Right. Right.
Um, it's a weird gamble. Now he is a freak of nature with the
He
blocks
is.
and the flexibility and everything, but the fact,
Nick, let's talk about big men for a second. Did you know that there's 24 big men in the NBA, or I'm sorry, 23 that are taller than Wemby over the history of the NBA.
wow, I did
I
not
was
know that.
shocked that there's 23. That's a
Oh,
big number,
I know a
right?
few. George
And if you
Marasan, is he one?
so good call. George Marison is actually he's the tallest NBA player of all time.
Wow, what was he like?
Seven, seven, seven,
Whew.
7'7", Nick.
That cologne
And
commercial was awesome. Chicks dig it. I remember it. I still remember. It was like the 90s. Yeah.
chicks dig it. Yeah. And the reason why this dawned on me is because you said like there haven't been too many like great ones.
Yeah.
If we look at the list, all right, I'm just going down the list and down and down and down and down. And there isn't much for like Hall of Famers, right? There is Ralph Sampson is on there. Ralph
Yep.
Sampson was taller.
He had some injuries,
7'4".
but he still eked out a very, very good Hall of Fame career. Yeah.
Mark Eaton stands out to me.
Good.
Yao Ming stands
Popularity
out.
because of international, but yeah.
Yep. And then there's one. I think he was a rookie last year. Zach Edey is actually taller. Edey, I think, is 7'5".
What about Wilt and Kareem? Are they not on that list?
No, well, they weren't above. They were not above Wemby.
Interesting.
So they got to be like you have Bull. Like, no, we're getting into. I think Kareem might have only been like 7'1", maybe, but I have like the top 30 list here, Nick.
And Wilt was 7 something.
7 something, yeah.
Yeah, but he was 7 something in 1961. It was like, what is this guy?
He was like 7 something, and he weighed like 300 pounds.
Just a big dude.
Which is different than
one quick sidetrack on that. The documentary on Wilt, I think it was on Hulu, was unbelievable.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was really good, and it just talked about he was just a freak of nature. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about him, and he just walked into a gym with like Arnold and all those other people, and they just set up a tricep press for him. And Arnold's like, like whatever, regular person, 50, 70 pounds, something like that. Will walks in, it's like 120. He just goes, all right, what's next? Because he was just like a big dude. He could like pick up Arnold,
Wow.
And just, I don't know, really crazy stuff. But anyway, I digress.
Wow. All right. So let's get to the cards side of it. We definitely got to cover that. Let's get to Mercury.
This is why I'm wearing the Boston hat today.
Oh man, the amount of money people paid for Mercury. Oh, geez,
I mean, this is insanity.
Mercury.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So these boxes were coming out at, 10 grand, 11 grand value out of the gate for breaks. Jeff Wilson went on and, he just did this obnoxious video. Like, I might have just done the craziest thing ever. He spent $353,000 on these boxes. He's only opened a couple on video, so I don't know what he's done. Hopefully he's gotten rid of them.
Yeah, hopefully he's moved them.
Now, I realize these are part of the expenses of Cards HQ. We're going to get 100 comments about that, but they are still expenses that have declined that could have been used for another expense that was more productive, like an employee or equipment or lighting or whatever, right?
Or vintage, Nick. Fill that vintage case up a little bit more, right?
Like, and it ain't just Jeff, man. Like every breaker had all these alien breaks, and like you had Backyard whining like, oh my God, you gotta
losing money on
come
this.
on, we're losing money. You probably already lost, you already made money on this. Like, and it was just obnoxious. And then you just, he signed 6,000 autographs. There's nothing special about this set. It's unlicensed. And if you're new to cards or the audience, what that means is Topps did not have the NBA license when this was made. So it's a white or gray uniform without the Spurs logo. He can have his number. It looks awkward. Some of the pictures are horrible. They look like he's taking a dump. And like, I'm sorry, I told you I was wearing the Boston hat today.
Oh, he's got the black Boston hat on today.
There's literally one where he's like, oh, and there's like a ball in his hand. It's so bad. The only thing of any value is the debut game patches with autographs on them.
Yeah,
but nice. Okay, so that's his first one. But it gets confusing anyway because Panini's gonna. it's a mess,
It is a
and
mess.
it's declined.
And it
The
doesn't even
boxes.
stop there, Nick, right? I think a Panini rookie of his, some sort of crazy refractor. I don't know which one it was, but it just sold. I think it was on Golden
830 or
recently.
860
Yeah,
grand.
800 and something $1,000. And
What the?
Nick, this was after the injury. So
I know.
people were bidding on this card after the injury.
There's a subset of people in this space who they have a certain amount of disposable income. It could be seven figures, it could be eight figures. And like
Hmm.
Marshall Fogel said on our show, um, you know,
Shout out to
that's mine.
Marshall.
Shout out to Marshall.
Marshall's
He's
awesome. I
the
hope he's
goat of
doing
collecting.
well.
If
I
you
hope
guys
he's
haven't
listening.
seen it, we did a three-part episode with him. You can just Google like Marshall Fogel Sports Card Madness.
Yeah.
It was really great, and he
Hmm.
talked to us about his investing philosophy. And he's like, "This is what you call a dummy. You've got these whales who have this money, and it's like that has to be mine. Money is no object. I want to
Sure.
have that card, and it's a bragging right thing."
Hmm.
Man, if that's what makes you happy, you play in the wrong game.
And that exists everywhere, Nick, right? It
Yeah,
exists in some of the other collectibles we talked about. It exists in paintings. It exists in probably
everywhere.
real estate too. Like, I want this
Cars.
penthouse suite in New York City. In Manhattan, I need it. Even though I got to overpay for it. Cars, good example. It's
I don't know.
everywhere.
It's deep, man. Like part of the way I've lived my life and why I retired at 40 is I live below my means and I don't do weird things like that.
Sure.
And so I
Yeah.
just hope whoever bought it isn't, running the treadmill 7 days a week, killing themselves to buy these things. And I hope it really is just discretionary, stupid money because that thing's going to lose value. It really is. There's
Yeah.
nothing special about it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the base card, except it's pink and sparkly and has a
Hmm.
number on it.
That's it.
It's
That's
crazy.
it.
And like the
800.
lesson here for everybody is I get it. Like we all love gambling. It's fun. We all love dopamine. That's fun too. Betting on a player by owning their card is also fun. We also do that. But these players, they get injured. Things happen.
Mm.
And, behavioral things happen, performance things happen. You can't buy them like they've got 37 rings already. And I worry
I
that
know.
every
You just got to
release
be
in the future
careful.
is just a new hype cycle. It's like Ghost Right Dolls, hype
Yeah.
cycle, crash.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me
The
is that
next one in the
crash.
NBA is going to be Cooper Flag, Nick. Next year, Cooper Flag will be Wemby. It will be that much hype. It
Yeah.
absolutely will. The Duke phenom, if he comes out, maybe
Now I get
he's now talking about he might not come out, but if he does come out, people will be blowing
same thing.
tons of money on him.
Pop drop, and just like
Tons.
understand that you're speculating. You had
Yeah.
Probstein on here, who's a very smart dude. He's like, I don't own any modern stuff except a couple Brady's. It's just too risky. And I don't
Mhm.
want to I understand what Topps and Fanatics did here.
Mhm.
They thought like, hey, the consumer deserves a Wemby autograph, even though we don't have the license.
Right.
So
Mhm.
fine, put out a product. I would have liked to have seen something that wasn't $10,000, maybe had
Over
one auto in it.
manufactured.
Yeah, and like a little, maybe two
Like
thousand.
it could have been like the Paul Skeens card, Nick, where it was just like a debut
Yeah,
patch that everybody was chasing.
and there's chase
That would
cards that
have been
haven't been
great.
found in this. The LeBron Wemby dual auto hasn't been found, so they did that. So I get it. They're fulfilling a need.
Yeah.
But Topps had just dropped the Chrome basketball on license like 2 months before this, and
Hmm.
I don't love the timing. I think they need to get the timing better, and then the product needed to be a little more mid market, and then
Yeah.
it would have been okay for everybody. I don't think you would have seen as much crazy hype either. But they probably learned their lesson. I don't know if they'll do that again. We'll see.
Yeah, I think they'll do it again.
Do you think Luca
Yeah, I mean,
Mercury when they when they get
no,
the
I think
NBA license?
it'll probably be Cooper Flag, man. It's
Yeah,
gonna be Cooper Flag. It probably will be.
it's a
It
cool
will be.
idea. I
Or it'll
like
be
the idea.
Luca in the LA uniform, right? It's gonna be, yeah.
I like
I
the idea. I don't think it was executed well. I think the price point was too high, and I think the quality of the cards was not great.
Mhm.
The imagery, and I think signing 6,000 autographs
Yeah, it's
it's
too
just too
much.
much.
Yeah,
Just sign 100.
there should have been one autograph in a box, not
Yeah,
how
boom,
many
that cuts
was
it in
there?
half.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it was at least three, I think, or
So
two, right?
yeah, I mean it's gonna
So
keep happening, but
yeah.
don't go chasing this stuff. Don't buy that $10,000 box and make
Mm,
Jeff Wilson make you think that it's gonna be 50,000. It's not going to
right.
be. The market will work this out in supply and demand. Now there is a weird thing that's gonna
Mm,
happen though. As these all so they're on eBay for 6-7 grand right now. People are begging to take them, but buy it now.
mhm.
What will happen at some point? It will tip because that chase card's still out there with Wemby and LeBron. So you'll see
Good
this.
point.
It'll be like a V. Okay. the cases will rise back up. And I don't want to hear anything about like, oh, Mercury's back. It's more of an expected value calculation. They're going to say, okay, the odds are better that this chase card that's worth $500,000 is in there. And that's what'll end up happening.
Nick, are the odds really better if all of these have been CT scanned?
Man, I will tell you
I wouldn't trust any Mercury box on
from
eBay.
what I've heard
Nope.
from my sources, and I am
Mhm.
wired in, okay?
Mhm.
And there are multiple CT scanning companies. It's not just the one
Mhm.
we interviewed. My estimate is 1 to 3% of all Mercury cases were CAT scanned.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem. Hopefully, Tops is working on technology to stop it. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we got to hope for that.
Ugh. Um, let's get into technology a bit.
All right.
I know that you do a lot of socials where you talk about kind of health technology, and I geek out on
Oh
it
yeah.
too. Let's
Biohacker.
you and I for let's call it during the holiday season, maybe a little after, we both got some cool health
Well,
technology.
you did it first, and then gave me FOMO, and then
Yes, I'm so happy you admitted that. Oh, I'm
well, of
so
course I'll
happy,
admit that I'm an
everybody.
honest person.
Oh, I'm
So
so happy. We all
so
heard it, everybody. You heard
LZ
it
got a
first here.
cool band. I've been eyeing the Aura Ring for a long time. So
Yeah.
to be fair for the audience, I went through a lot of health stuff. So I really
Mm.
take care of myself now. I want to
Hmm.
understand my metrics. I own an ultrasound machine and a shockwave machine, and
Mm.
this is kind of cool. So
All right.
I
So tell
saw.
everybody, what is the Aura Ring?
Well, I was gonna let you tell about yours first
Oh,
because
you want
that's
me
what
to tell
gave me the
mine? All right,
FOMO. Yeah. So tell them
because
about
I bought
yours,
mine
and then I'll
first.
tell them about mine.
Yeah. So the background for me on why I've geeked out on health tech is for let's call it 10 years of my life, I had terrible sleep, awful sleep. It was so bad that like very little energy in the morning. It was impacting me all day. So I started getting me and Nick actually we both had this. It was the first, I think it was the first wearable health sleep band. It was
What
called
was
the
that called?
Basis band. The
Oh, the
Basis band.
basis.
The
Oh,
Basis.
I
And this
remember
thing
that
was
thing.
great. And we're talking
You put me
probably
onto
10
that one
years ago.
too.
I did. I did.
You bastard.
Um
Yo,
so I've always been into this.
LZ,
I've
just for
always
the
been into
audience, LZ is always with it, man. He's got all the cool gadgets. So just DM him and just be like, "What are the top 5 things you've used in the last year?" And
Yeah,
he's
I'll
ahead
give
of the
you a
curve.
list. I'll give you a list.
The
All right.
basic.
So, anyways, the Whoop band it is the Apple Ultra Watch on steroids when it comes to health, everybody. Now, yeah, you can't listen to Spotify on it or anything like that. It actually does not have a face to it. It's just a band that you wear and it tracks everything. And the app is phenomenal. When it comes to sleep, you wake up every morning and it gives you a report, like a documented report on how you did. And it tells you, like, today, you slept great last night. So if you're going to work out today, you need to go crush it because
Yeah,
you have the energy. You need to go nail it. So that is very good about it. And I think the Aura can do some similar things there. The other cool things that it can do is it's very good with your workouts. So it almost has a bit of Peloton to it where there are instructors that can go through a workout with you.
Hmm.
But if you have your own workouts, you can upload them into this band. And then the app will walk you through your individual workout, like set by set. And it's tracking how much exertion you're doing on that set, what your heart rate is on that set. It is freaking awesome.
That's cool.
It is so great. And then the other cool thing is it actually comes with a little battery pack, so you never have to take this off. You can put this little battery pack on and keep working out. So you literally never take it off, which is awesome too. So I highly recommend it, everybody. It's kind of the razor blade model where it's actually super, it's kind of cheap for the band. I think the band's
Yeah.
only like it's
Give the
under
band
50
away
bucks,
and charge the monthly fee.
but the
Yeah,
app is
annual
expensive.
fee.
It's like $200 a year for the app. So that's where they get you.
Right.
All right. So let's
Awesome.
what do you like about this Aura ring, Nick?
Yeah. Before I get into that, the reason we're doing this, for the audience, like I get, I don't know, a couple hundred DMs a day. And I would say
Mm.
half of them have nothing to do with cards. And
Mm.
they see, so I'm working on getting my body fat percentage down to 12 and getting kind of back in the shape I was in before all this health stuff happened. And I find a lot of people asking me for lifting advice and, like biohacker
Yeah.
advice and all kinds of crazy stuff.
And a lot of our listeners are actually like fitness people too. Like we get a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
amazing. Like
yeah.
health coaches, actually, the
Mhm.
listenership is diverse. And shout out to I've never said this before on the show. Shout out to the entire damn audience everywhere, YouTube and like the audio channels. It is the coolest network of people I have ever interacted with
It
ever.
really
You know,
is.
I've like
It's awesome.
it beats an alumni association, it beats
Mhm.
alumni of companies. It's like one day I have like a breast cancer doctor hitting me up, the next day it's a personal trainer, the next day it's
An
like
attorney,
a top
like
five McKinsey guy,
just
and
yeah,
it's freaking awesome. So
yeah,
honestly, don't be shy. Hit me up because I freaking
yeah,
love like meeting
yeah. Hit
all of
me
you
up
guys.
too. Hit me
Yeah,
up
hit
too,
LZ up.
everybody.
Give him some love.
Yeah, yeah. Give me
So
some love. No, I'll help you with the
so I get
technology,
asked
everybody.
about this stuff too. It's funny,
Yeah.
like I had, like the ring is nice because I'm unlike LZ. I'm sick of wearing a band all the time at bed. I
Mm,
don't like it. I don't want it on my
no.
arm. And so
Yeah.
it's nice. I can remove a band and like
Yeah.
charge it at night. And all
Hmm.
I have to do is wear this ring, which is like nothing. The catch, obviously, is that if I lift, I need to wear the Apple Watch because lifting with a ring is a horrible
Yeah.
idea.
You'll
Unless you
mess
want
your
to like
knuckle
go
up or
go
something.
be
Yeah.
called Nikki Four Fingers, you know. So,
Hey, Nicky Four Fingers. Hey,
um,
forget about it.
but it's great. The
Yeah.
the most helpful thing for me is I track my TDEE
Uh,
like on a spreadsheet every day. And for
yeah.
those that don't know that, it's just your total daily energy expenditure. So,
Hmm.
if you're bulking, you want to add about 20%. If you're cutting 20, I'm recomping, so I'm right in the middle. I need to eat just a hair, like a 5% hair under my TDEE. This gives me it in real time. It's like, whoop, Nick, you're going to burn 3,200 calories today. I'm like, yes, I get another
Yes.
snack.
So I can have that extra sub.
And that's been the
Yeah.
coolest thing for me.
Hmm.
The stress levels have been great. Like I'll have a big fight with my teenage daughter, and it's like, um, you've been more stressed today. You
Yeah.
have had 90
Yeah.
minutes of stress in the last 2 hours.
You were in a
And then I
stressful
put a tag on
situation.
it, and I'm like, what do I call this one? A-hole teenager. And then and you start to
Yeah.
see trends with like a-hole teenager that impacts your sleep.
Ah,
It's fun though. Yeah, it tells
mm,
you when to go to bed. The resilience is cool. It tells you if I'm about to get sick. It's predicted it once. I had a
yeah.
sinus infection, and it's like your signs are showing something. Keep an eye on your body, basically. And I got sick, and I got COVID too.
Yes, mine does that too, Nick. I forgot to
It's
mention that.
pretty dope
That is awesome.
because I can
Where it
stay away
tells you
from
if
my
you're getting
daughter who
sick.
has an autoimmune disease, and I don't infect
Yes.
her.
Hmm.
So pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff,
All
and
right.
they're not.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and they're not crazy expensive. Well, the Aura Ring is like a little more expensive, but you don't pay for the app, right? Is that
Yeah,
how that
yeah.
one
Well,
works?
it's cheap. It's like less than Netflix, the app, right?
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
okay. So you do pay a little bit for the app.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, let's bring it back to Wemby, and I think Wemby needs to be wearing one of these moving forward. Probably needs to be, right?
Well, he
Probably needs
needs,
to be.
yeah, the team doctor probably has their own ultrasound. And I
Yeah.
assure you, with Wemby's value to the organization,
Oh boy.
um, he is probably getting ultrasounded every day. I could probably find, I'm good enough to see veins now. Even with a handheld ultrasound, you can see a DVT quite clearly, through
Mhm.
the artery. I guarantee you, they're watching like they have like DVT watch. Okay, making sure. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not really a joke. Like it could actually kill him. So they are watching it seriously, and I'm sure he's on heparin right now, and he's going to come off of that and probably go on Eliquis, is my
Yeah.
guess. And hopefully he's okay after that, and it never happens again.
Hopefully he's okay, right? I mean, this guy's a phenom. It's going to be terrible if this goes the wrong direction.
But just
I
this,
think we all want to see him succeed, Nick.
of course, he's awesome. He's
Yeah,
so fun
he's
to watch.
awesome.
But
Yeah, he
don't
is.
don't go gambling on cards like
No.
this. I don't want to say I told you so, but I'm gonna this time. All right, I told you. I called this before. You did too, LZ.
Yeah,
We
we
called this
both
before. I
did.
did it very
Ugh.
vocally,
It's
and we are right on this
it's
one.
kind of like Monday morning quarterbacking we're doing, but in some situations like this is a real example of it, everybody.
We
Like,
recorded stuff way before the drop that predicted
yeah.
this,
Hmm.
and here it is. Okay, and we don't love it. Sucks, but this is a lesson for everybody. Probably a painful lesson for many. Don't do it again.
No, I know. Don't do it again. Seriously. Um, yeah, look at vintage, everybody. Me and Nick are big into vintage. We'll help you out. Just hit us up. Hit us
Yeah,
up
or
on the vintage
broaden.
stuff.
I'm into Pokemon
Oh
now.
yeah, pop culture, Pokemon.
Within a week, I've got 40% of the base first edition Pokemon
That's awesome,
racked up.
man.
Nobody there's getting
Yeah.
injured. Nobody
Let's
there's
do.
going to
I
beat their
know that
wife.
we in an upcoming episode, we're gonna kind of talk about Pokemon a little bit, but we should do like a dedicated one. I would like
Yeah.
to do a dedicated episode. Maybe we even get. I know we've had Pokemon guests on before, but maybe
Yeah,
we
we had
have
Super
another
Duper
guest
Danny
on.
on and a
Yeah,
couple
and
others.
let's do a full full focused Pokemon. Just
Yeah,
so
we could teach you, man.
self-serving for me because I need to learn.
Yeah, not
I need
so.
to learn.
After this air, actually, we could say this weekend I found a massive 439
Yeah.
card, old vintage Pokemon collection, of which there's a large chunk of first edition. They are raw. They're his childhood cards, and they're local, baby. So me and LZ are gonna head out there
We're gonna
and bring
Yeah.
some
We
cash.
should actually do a live like in the car or something on the way at
Yeah,
least.
why not?
Talk about
Yeah,
leading up to it.
we'll
Yeah,
do
be
that.
cool.
Yeah, it's been
All right.
fun.
All
All
right,
right,
cool. All right,
the
everybody.
question.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully hopefully you listen to us a little bit and just don't listen to all the hype. I think it's
Just
probably the
stop.
yeah,
Just stop it.
just
This is
yeah.
gonna happen again. It happened to
hmm
Wander Franco. Happened, it's just like it's the same
Right.
crap, man. Learn your lesson.
Yeah. All right, question of the day, Nick.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. So, this is perfect. Your Aura app told you that you're going to burn 3,200 calories today, and you have an extra 1,000 calories to spare for dinner. And you go to the local sub shop. What is the sub sandwich that you are getting? What is your ultimate sub sandwich?
Well, it's too easy because I'm Boston Card Hunter, man. I'm getting that lobster roll, you know? That's my
Lobster
jam.
roll.
But
Okay.
yeah, man, it sucks. I don't eat wheat very, very often. So,
hmm
but there's a place that has some pretty decent bread. And yeah, just I'm gonna get like the extra, extra large lobster. Close second would be Italian. I mean, I love Italian, but I don't
Yeah.
eat dairy anymore either. So that's super lame. It's like an
hmm
Italian sub, like with fake bread and like no provolone in it. It's just
Yeah.
not the same. I'll just go eat charcuterie.
No, it's not the
So
same.
the lobster roll is pretty damn close,
Mm,
and I'll make sure they like double it up with lobster. That's my jam.
okay. All right.
Lobsters are a pain in
Lob
the ass to eat. A lobster roll is
lobster. I
nice and
know.
easy.
Yeah. If you can do the lazy way of lobster where someone cracks it all for you
That's
and puts it in
great.
a sub,
So much
forget
better.
about it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You said Italian. I'm going to just do a shout. So I love Italians. Uh, Shout out to Pace's. There's
Oh
one
yeah.
in I think it's Saugus, Mass, or it might be in the on the Melrose line, and then I think there's one in the Seaport in Boston. There's probably a few others, probably even one in the North End in Boston. Shout out to Pace's. I think Pace's does the best Italian sub, but I'm not going to choose Italian, um, because you already said that one. I'm going to choose a steak and cheese with extra cheese. I want peppers, onions, mushrooms, and extra American cheese on it.
I forgot
Some
all
people,
about steak and cheese, man.
oh
I just
man, I
refuse
was
to give it
actually,
to myself. It's so
I,
good.
I was actually surprised that you didn't say steak and
I never
cheese.
think of it because it's so damn unhealthy.
I know, I know.
But I got a
But-
thousand calories, so I'm ready to roll, man. I'm ready to roll. That's
yeah,
good
that's it,
stuff.
man. So for those that are our age, right? Like when you get in your 40s, you got to do that once a year colonoscopy. After the colonoscopy, I get a damn steak and cheese, man.
Fill it
Like
up. Fill it up.
that's it. Like I'm cleared out. I'm getting a steak and cheese. Steak and cheeses are so good. Around here, there's something called a number nine around the Boston area that D'Angelo, that's a chain started, which has salami in it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Have you tried the salami in a
Number
steak and
nine's
cheese
good,
before?
man. I'm a big fan of D'Angelo. But we call it
But what?
D'Angelo's up here. But yeah,
Yeah, D'Angelo's. I know it's weird. It's called D'Angelo,
but we
but
call it
we all call
D'Angelo's.
it
We
D'Angelo's.
remove R's from things, but we add S's to things. It's really
Yeah.
weird.
It is weird. It is weird. Would you choose a number nine over a traditional steak and cheese?
Nah, not now.
Yeah.
I don't have time
Yeah.
for that.
Me
If I'm gonna
neither.
have a steak and cheese, it's a commitment and an
Yeah.
experience, okay? And I
Yeah.
need to get it the right way. And yeah, get a little hot sauce on it, and it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a steak and cheese. Traditional steak and cheese.
Post
That's me.
colonoscopy meal. Oh man, I got one funny story quick before we wrap this thing up, man.
All right. What
I
do we
had a
got?
colonoscopy in 2020. Okay, my mom brought me. Wife was
Yeah.
busy or whatever.
Mm.
We went we went to the local breakfast place. I got like I went from the procedure to the
Mm.
breakfast place with no
Mm.
stop at my house, and I live in the same town. Okay, and I got like a lumberjack breakfast. All right, like we're
Yes.
talking French toast, eggs, bacon, everything. Okay,
Load it up.
everybody, we're all picking out. I think I took a picture of the meal, got home, passed out. I woke up in the afternoon. I had no recollection whatsoever of that entire meal or the discussion. My
It's
mom
wild,
texted
man.
me. She goes, "This is what you ate." I'm like, "What?"
I ate 3,000 calories in one sitting.
Oh man, that's good stuff. I don't know what they use on you, propofol or whatever the
Oh
hell it's called,
man,
but
that knocks you
I don't
out.
know. I
And
got to
you
get
want
one.
to be knocked out for that one, everybody.
I got to get one next year, dude. Let's line this up where you're my ride and we get a lumberjack
Oh,
breakfast.
we go to we'll find
I'll
yes,
try to
steak and
remember it.
cheese. That's
Awesome.
great. All right,
All
everybody.
right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye everyone.